It's extremely frustrating when your wife rejects you sexually. I mean, it's a major ego bust, like, am I not man enough? Am I not virile enough? Am I not good enough? What's the matter? Why don't you want to make love to me? Also, there's some physical things that happen to you because you really need to make love. We are made in such a way where that making love with our spouses is actually good for our health, and certain things occur to us if we're not doing that. As a matter of fact, you may have noticed with yourself or with other men, if they go very long without sex, they tend to get irritable. And it's not just because of their wanting to have sex, it's because of the fact that their body needs that. There are so many reasons we want to make love to our wives. And if she's rejecting you, it's a matter of, how can we fix this? I'm not going to rape her. Good, because that would be wrong. I'm not going to force her. Good. That's just a modified form of rape in some cases. No. There are ways to fix it, though. But perhaps the best thing to do is to try to understand what may be going on. So, for example, look at, general factors, such as age. How old is she? Now, if she's about to go into menopause, it may be that she actually becomes more sexually active. Many women just before menopause will do that they actually have hormones increase and they want to make love more than they did before. If she's going through menopause, then some of the difficulties she'll be having will make her not want to make love to you. And after menopause, some women actually lose a lot of their libido because of the fact that they think that they're no longer fertile. Well, if they've gone through menopause, then they aren't. But you understand that some women actually put part of their ego into that. Part of my value, part of my worth is that I can make babies. Now, that's not true of every woman, but it's true of many women. And after they no longer can actually make the baby, they begin to lose their sex drive. So it could have to do with her age. It could have to do with her health. For example, people, men or women, who are obese actually have diminished libido. And if there are other health issues going on, whatever they might be, if she's got arthritis that's causing her all kinds of pain, if she's got endometriosis where there's like, I'm afraid of doing this because it's going to hurt, or maybe even because of the fact that she has something that really is extremely painful, vaginismus, which, well, we're not going into great detail. Let's just say that you won't even be able to penetrate her if she has that going on. And so you have to look at, is there a health factor? Is there something going on here physically that we need to see a physician about to make sure that we can take care of this, or something that we need to understand is occurring and that with a little time we can get past this, having to do with both her age and her health, but also these outside stresses. Because when I did a survey several years ago asking women, is there anything that had reduced the sexual attraction you have for your spouse? By the way, in that particular survey, 1/3 of the women who took that survey, and there were thousands of them, 1/3 of the women who took that survey gave at least one reason that their sexual attraction to their husbands had been dramatically reduced. And one of those reasons had to do with stress, outside stresses, like difficulty with the finances, difficulties and problems with this, what's going on in the world, what's going on with my parents as they get older, all kinds of things. And all those things can affect her, which really have nothing directly to do with you, although you could potentially be exacerbating it or making it worse if you're not trying to be understanding as to what's going on. And so fatigue, age, all those kinds of things could be general factors making her not want to make love. If that's the case, try your best to understand it. And as you understand it, be very encouraging, very helpful to her. Help her get the rest that she needs. If she needs to see a physician, gently encourage her until she does. If she needs to lose weight, don't chastise her, don't push her, that'll work against you. But maybe start a challenge where you both lose weight. In other words, you can help her with these general factors as long as you don't make it a thing that makes her feel she's being rejected by you. That you really are on her side of the table, that you really are encouraging and wanting to help her. But there are also some other things going on, or at least there could be, such as timing factors. Like, well, when did this start? Has she rejected you sexually throughout your marriage? Well, if that's the case, there's some issues going on that may need some sex therapy. For example, if from the beginning she hasn't wanted to make love, she did it begrudgingly, she didn't really enjoy it when it occurred, then there's probably something either physiologically or psychologically or emotionally going on that's causing an issue here that needs to be dealt with. Maybe something from when she was a teenager or a child. And if that's the case, if it's always been like this, without pushing, because that won't work, encourage her as best you can to see somebody who can help her with those issues. Not a marriage counselor, but a sex therapist to help you with these sex issues, if at all possible. Now, if it happened at some particular time, in other words, there was a time in our life when we made love with each other, things were good, but it seemed to stop about this time. Well, what happened? Did someone die that she's very close to? Did she lose a job that was very important to her? Did one of your children get sick and go through a major crisis? Sometimes you can look back and find the genesis point. It's where this started here. And if we can understand when this rejection of you began to occur, then it's like, okay, it's not really about me unless the thing that happened had to do with you. So, for example, if you had an affair, if that's what happened, then that would have something to do with you. But if you can find out what it is, this factor, this thing that occurred, the timing that changed it, then it gives you a way to figure out where to start to try to fix this thing. And then very much have to look at relationship factors. You know, women as well as men want to feel that you love them, that you like them, and that you respect them. As a matter of fact, there's ample research indicating that people who feel unloved, disliked, and disrespected typically want out of a relationship. And so you need to demonstrate, not just saying, I do feel that I love her, I like her, I respect her, but does she feel that in the way that you treat her? Because if she feels disrespected in the things that you say or the way that you act, then she's not going to want to get in bed with you. She's not going to enjoy lovemaking with you, because most of the time for women, it's all about the relationship. It's about love. It's about feeling that you love me, that you like me, that you respect me. And because of that close emotional connection that we have, then when we make love, I enjoy it because I'm feeling this union with you. We're becoming one, if you will, when we do that. And so you need to look at the relationship. If she feels, for example, that you just want to have sex with her just to get relief, and that there's little kissing, little touching, little hugging, then that's not going to be good, because of the fact that she's going to feel you're using me rather than that you love me. So if your relationship's got major problems going on, you really need to do whatever it takes to fix that relationship, because that was the number one reason in my survey, that research that I did, that women said they didn't want to make love to their husbands anymore was because the relationship was terrible. I don't like being around him anymore. How would I want to be in bed with him? Why would I want to be in bed with him? And so if that relationship is bad and you want to have true lovemaking, you need to get the help that you need to fix that relationship. Now, we at MH International would love to help you do that. And if you want, you can call that number on the screen right now and ask for one of our client representatives, and they'll tell you how we can help you do that. But let me keep going on with other things here. There's also the factor of lovemaking itself. One has to do with your body. What I mean by that, if you're not taking care of your body, she may not want to make love to you. Under the physical reasons that I found in my research, under the physical reasons as to why a wife did not want to make love to her husband, believe it or not, had to do with hygiene. He doesn't bathe like he should. He smells bad on occasion. He passes gas right in front of me and thinks somehow that's funny and that I should want to hop in bed with him after that. He belches all the time. I want him to be, in essence, my Prince Charming, in the sense that he's being nice, that he has charisma, and that he washes himself, that he dresses in clean clothes, that he shaves, if that's something that goes on in your marriage. Like some women prefer beards, some men prefer beards. But you understand the principle I'm making here. It's that you need to be fit and trim as best you can at your age and situation in life, and you definitely need to take care of your body, which means that if you're smoking something that she finds offensive, like you're a cigar smoker and she can't stand the smell of cigar smoke, then do them outside. And then after you smoke your cigar, drop your clothes off in the laundry room on the way in and get yourself a bath, because hygiene was the number one physical reason. The number one reason was relationship problems. The number one physical reason was hygiene. But then at the same time, another one that is kind of scary in a sense, because it will tend to hurt the ego of a lot of men, is, well, I don't think he's a very good lover. Now, believe it or not, a lot of guys think they are just because of the fact, well, how simple can it be? You put part A into part B, and that's how this all works. And that's not the case at all. As a matter of fact, lovemaking, if it were just putting part A into part B, could last a relatively short period of time. If she were lubricated enough, and if he had a strong enough erection, he could go into her, and if he had his orgasm and ejaculation within 3 minutes, that's all he would need. And while he might have some sexual fulfillment in that, in the sense that he has had his orgasm, there's no relational fulfillment in that. You see, there's kind of a built-in difficulty here, if you will. Men can be aroused that quickly. Women, on the other hand, tend to be aroused much more slowly. And so sometimes men are way too rushed in the lovemaking process, not taking time to do the foreplay they need to do to make sure that the wife becomes aroused and ready for this. Well, I could tell you a lot more, but listen to this. If you want to know more about this, and particularly if your wife will participate with you, let me tell you about something that we did a few years ago that I think can help you. It's actually 7.5 hours of videos. Now, they're broken into 12 different sessions, but 7.5 hours of videos that I did several years ago teaching a couple how to have a much better sex life. Not just me teaching. Occasionally, we have actor couples talk out various scenarios. You heard me say talk. They don't act it out. There's no pornography in this. But situations I've actually dealt with, problems I've helped people overcome. And so these actor couples talk these things out. And so I teach, and in addition to that, there's several PDFs in there. For example, there's one about how to measure your inhibitions to see if indeed you have sexual inhibitions. And if your wife goes through it with you, she'll be measuring to see if she has any sexual inhibitions. There's another one about sexual compatibility. There's another one about if you are talking about doing something sexually you haven't done before, that you can actually analyze ahead of time, assess is a better word, assess ahead of time whether or not each of you probably would like it, or if it's something probably you should not do because it's more likely to cause problems. And so as I'm teaching through there, and I start with basic anatomy, believe it or not, and as I'm teaching through there, sometimes I'll just stop and say, complete that PDF, then turn the video back on. And when you do, then I explain how to score them, how to understand them. Because you see, if you're going to fix your sex life with your wife, if she's rejecting you sexually, if there are physical reasons going on, you need to fix that. If there are timing things that occurred and there's some situation needs to be dealt with, you need to find some help to deal with that. If the relationship is bad, you're going to have to make it good, and we can help you do that. We're happy to help you do that if you call the number right there. Or if it's just about, well, the relationship is okay, no real big strong health factors, no big issues going on out here, okay, then let's deal just with the sex part. And you can find that at sparkyourmarriage.com. That's sparkyourmarriage.com. And that's where you can find those 7.5 hours of videos, the PDFs, all those other kind of things. And if you work through it together, husband and wife, you should enhance your sex life dramatically, because it's not just about sex. In the context of teaching you sex, we also teach you some things about relationship sex that are crucial to understand. Again, I'm sorry that things are as they are. We would love to help you fix it. Give us a chance.